Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm a lightworker and a mother to 3 special girls. I strive to continue learning, growing, and to collect new skills. I am a psychic medium, Reiki master teacher, and Akashic Record reader and energy healer. I am so excited to share what I've learned and what I'm going to learn and the ups and downs of life. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Welcome to Life of a Lightworker podcast. Hello and welcome. I didn't record a podcast last week. My kids had the week off of school and I was expecting to record, but it just didn't work out. So you just gotta go with the flow, right? Okay, so this week I'm drawn to The Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And my intention is for the people listening, what do they need to know right now? What needs to be highlighted in their lives, in their awareness? And, oh, there's a pop out. It's a couple cards. Let me just see which one. Yeah, and it's the first one. Okay. So, this card is called Let It Rain. Allowing what is, inevitability, and trust. Alright, let's find it in the book. Okay, so it is page 102. Alright. There's a moment just before it starts to rain when the pressure can be felt. What's been building up is preparing for a big release. The clouds cannot hold their breath a moment longer, and then, right on cue, they surrender the rain they've been holding on to, and a downpour finally begins. While we may have preferred to see clear skies abroad, a sweet relief can be felt when the waters of the sky return to the ground. There's also a special moment that can be felt immediately after the rain stops, and the sun appears from behind the clouds. It's similar to what happens to us during a good emotional cry. The endorphins that are released as we let our red-hot tears flow down our cheeks invoke a feeling of sweet relief. Something's been released, lifted, cleared. We feel a little lighter and more free. This card comes with encouragement to surrender to what's happening in your life. Maybe you're experiencing a challenge or something that isn't going to plan. Although we might prefer the sun to shine all year round, there's intelligence in the rainy days, and there's healing in your tears. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. And the soul inquiry for this card is, what are you being called to surrender to? I feel like this card is asking us to let go of the way things have been done, how you used to do things, how you have been doing things, how the world has been doing things. Letting go of the structure, the routines that we're comfortable with because we've been doing them so long, but are not aligned with where we want to go. And that's the important thing, is taking the time to step back and examine what you are doing and if it is in the path to where you want to be, of who you want to be. Is the person that you want to become, or the person that you are becoming, would they do that? Would they do those thoughtless things that you instinctually do because you've been taught to do them your whole life? And noticing it within you. I feel like collectively, one of the main themes is hustle, working hard, working to the bone, struggling, and that life has to be hard. That belief and that mentality that you keep grinding away. And that's one of the things that is being called to release, to have the shift within so that you can believe that it can be, I don't want to say the word easy, but ease, with flow. That doesn't mean things aren't challenging or difficult, but it's not something that I feel like it doesn't, the planning or the effort involved in forcing something and like pushing the square peg into the round hole and shaving off the sides in order for it to fit. It feels like if you have a square peg, you follow the path towards the square hole instead of forcing it into the round hole. And I feel like it's the flow, it's the connection with your soul, it's letting your soul guide you, not thinking or believing that you have either all the control or all the knowledge or know exactly where you're supposed to go or be or do, and trusting your soul to guide you towards the right direction. And that's really, really hard for a lot of people because we have been trained to fully plan it out, see things along the way, and work towards. Even a lot of people who do manifesting, they have a lot of, say, vision boards or different plans that they have it laid out of what they want and when. And depending on the person, that works. But in general, I feel like the way moving forward is to learn how to listen to your intuition, listen to your soul, listen to your gut, and let that guide each step. And knowing that what you want is also what your soul wants, and trusting your soul to guide you towards what you want. Because you are the same. Your higher self, your soul, is not something that's separate from you. You are a part. You are connected. You are intertwined. So you share the same visions for when it's part of your heart. Like a lot of us, we see things in the world and we decide we want something because of either status or how other people are being treated or what other people feel, that what they value, and we take those values on ourselves. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in your heart, those things that light you up, that bring you joy, that you are drawn to. That is because your soul wants that to happen in this life, wants you to feel those things, wants you to move towards that. And following those feelings, following your joy, following those sparks, is how your soul gives you those breadcrumbs to go towards the lessons and the experiences that are desired for this life. So I feel like it is surrender, but you're surrendering to yourself. You're not surrendering to an outside force. This is yourself. So trusting yourself, allowing yourself to guide you through. And I feel like a lot of people might be thinking, well, I don't trust myself. I look to other people. I don't trust myself. That's the step that many of us need to work on. And it's not something that happens overnight because we have a lot of conditioning from this world to not listen to yourself, especially people who are neurodiverse, because how you experience the world is different than, let's say, maybe your parents or your teachers or the people around you. And when you talk about your experience, they tell you you're wrong. That's not what's happening, and you're not experiencing that, or that's in general wrong. So you learn to tune it out and not listen to yourself. And I think this happens with many people across every type of culture, society. And it's not just neurotypical neurodiverse, it's everyone. I'm just saying I feel like it's more it's stronger or more visible and just a bigger problem in the neurodiverse community because they're told they're wrong for how they think. And it's just different. It's not wrong. It's just a different view, a different way, a different perspective, different way of doing things. And that's, for me, I don't think ever wrong. Because the more views you have, the wider perspective. You don't just see one wedge, you see the whole picture. When you have all the different people and the different brains seeing different things, when they come together and share their views, you see all the different angles that you might not be able to see because your view is not the same as somebody else's. But you talk to them, you hear how they experience it, and then that allows your perspective to widen. But going back to the trusting and the surrendering to yourself, I'm going to ask, what are some things that we can do to help us trust ourselves more? Learn to surrender to the flow of our soul, the flow of the universe, the flow of the earth. How can we go with the flow and trust it so that we don't push the brakes and try to pull back? Okay, let me see. Okay, first they went to the Akashic Records, and when I asked, the first thing I heard was, now is easier than ever before. Right now, the way the world is, the way the energy is, it's easier to listen to yourself and see all the little clues and all the little things that help us trust that inner guidance than ever before. So if you've had trouble in the past, now's the perfect time to try again because it's going to be so much louder. That's why it's easier. It's because it's louder. And I feel like asking a lot of questions, I feel like asking for lots of confirmation. Things like angel numbers are going to be something that's very easy to notice and easily accessible to a lot of people. I feel like animals. I feel like when you ask your higher self to show a sign so that you know that your higher self has your back, is guiding you, is with you, so you don't feel alone, ask for a sign. You could be a blue jay, a robin. It could be, I want to see a flower. I want to see a yellow heart. I want, pick something and state your intention to your higher self, and then you have to wait and see. You have to be open to how it comes to you. So you might ask for a flower, and then in a song you hear the word flower. So it might not come in the exact way that you are thinking. So you might not actually get a physical flower. So being open and receptive to all the different ways it can come is your job for this assignment. And by doing that on a regular basis, you start to kind of build a relationship and trust with your higher self. But at a certain point, it does feel like when it's more of your insecurity and not your desire to move forward, then I feel like there's some hesitation from the higher self to keep giving you things that you keep giving these signs and confirmations, when at a certain point it's your job to acknowledge them and accept them and then move forward and not continually ask for confirmation over and over and over again. And I feel like writing down all these little signs is going to be a simple way for you to take those signs, those confirmations, and root them into this physical reality so that you can see them and you don't just brush them off and forget about them. And when you see them compiled, then that helps build your trust. So you can do note on your phone, on your computer, you can do it in your journal. You choose. You can do any way that you like, but seeing it physically is going to be very helpful for you when you're learning, when you're getting more comfortable with listening to all these signs from the universe. And this works for spirit guides, for past loved ones. It works for, I'd say, all of the spiritual beings out there. They can all send us signs, but I would like to focus on your higher self for this, say, challenge. If you focus on one specific, one at a time, it's going to be a lot easier. You're not going to have to decipher who sent this when you have the intention that I'm only talking to my higher self and I only want my higher self to send me these signs and symbols and messages. Then it gets a lot more simplified. Let me see. There needs to be more. What can you do? So after you have become more comfortable receiving these signs, or if you've already become comfortable receiving these signs, what else can we do to help us trust, go with the flow, and surrender to ourselves? What can we do? Okay, I heard quiet the noise. So it feels like limiting the distractions. It feels like the TV and all of those busy things in our life that are consuming our time and our energy. Those are the things that we're being called to limit. I feel like taking more time for yourself, going within, either meditation or walks, it's in the stillness. In the stillness, or I would say monotonous, mundane tasks where you can be more, you can turn your brain off and you can go within. So giving yourself those opportunities as much as possible can be really important during this, I feel like, transitionary period where we are moving out of our old thoughts and beliefs and patterns and into the new patterns that are more aligned with what we want in our lives and what we want the world to be, what our souls are calling us to do. So we need to have these moments of stillness to allow that change to happen. Because if we are always busy in the old pattern all the time, there's no space for the new pattern to come in. So we need to create the space. Let me see. And there's something else. What is it? Okay, and I feel like sometimes it feels like everything around us is crumbling. Everything around us is falling. Everything is getting heavier and denser and harder and crushing in and is not supporting us the way that we want to be supported. And I feel like we've been fighting it. We've been fighting everything crumbling in and falling in on us and crumbling. We've been trying to hold the pieces together and keep it all the way and fix it. And that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to allow what is. We're supposed to let it crumble. We're supposed to just let things happen and not force it to happen a certain way. We allow energy and the world to move the way it is intended to move instead of putting our heels up and stopping it. So it's sad, and we can experience the sadness, but as soon as we experience it, after we stop trying to stop it, then it can actually change and move into what it is supposed to be. The longer you hold on and try to hold up the walls, the longer it takes to get to the other side. Because the walls start chipping away one at a time instead of just coming down so that you can move through. And I don't want to say that that is the only way or the way you have to do it. That I'm just seeing that as the easier way to go through it. And everyone's different. Everyone does what is best for them. That is just what they're showing me as being the fastest way through this transition. And I'm not going to say that's not hard, because it's hard. That there's no way around it. That's just the way it is. Changing ourselves, changing how we do things is not something that's ever easy. And that's why people push back and try not to change, because it's uncomfortable. But when you get to the other side, it's going to be better. Following what your soul wants for you, what you want for you, is in line with what the earth needs. So we are working together. Okay, so that seems to be what's coming through today. I hope you take the time to rest and give yourself lots of time and space to feel all your feelings and allow the thoughts and the energies that come through you to come through you, even if it's something that's uncomfortable, giving the space to experience that. Because if it's coming to you, then it's something that most likely needs to be looked at or acknowledged within yourself. So I hope you have a nice week, and I look forward to talking to you next time. And if you want to contact me, my website is spruceenergyhealing.com, on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube, and TikTok. I'm Spruce Energy Healing, and have a magical week.